The 2024 Euros are right around the corner, and the nation that I believe has the best odds to win this entire tournament is England. It may finally be coming home. Now, why is this? Well, I just feel like everything that could have gone right for this nation has gone right. Let's get started with their manager, Gareth Southgate. Now, he was promoted back in 2016-2017 when this team was trying to qualify for the 2018 World Cup in Russia. And previous to that, he had been in charge of the under-21s for about 4 years, where he managed to make them a really good squad. So then in 2017, as the team was trying to qualify for the World Cup, they decided to give him the promotion to the senior role. And after getting that promotion, not only did he get this squad to qualify for the World Cup, he got them extremely far. They ended up winning 2 group stage matches, did pretty good in the round of 16 and the quarterfinals, made it all the way to the semis versus Croatia, where they would fall 2-1 in extra time. And of course, would end up finishing the World Cup in 4th place. But still, they hadn't got to the semis since 1990. So this was a huge sign of improvement for the English national team. And then everybody remembers what happened with England in the Euros, right? They had an incredible Euros in 2020 and then made it all the way to the finals where they lost against Italy in penalties. One thing about this English national team is that they are goddamn terrible in penalties. So let's just hope they don't get any penalty games, in this upcoming Euros. And then in 2022, not the best World Cup. I mean, they made it all the way to the quarterfinals again, so still not playing terrible, but they hadn't been able to reach the finals. That's basically what Gareth Southgate was brought on to do. Take this national team farther than they had ever been in the last 50 years. Now, Southgate's future is a bit up in the air right now, and we'll get into it more in a second, but for right now, I just wanted to remind you guys to slow down, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 3,000 subscribers. I feel like we can do so. Every subscription is appreciated. All right, now let's get back to the video. You see, Southgate's contract runs out in December, and he says that he does not want to talk about an extension until after this tournament, and that makes sense, right? Now, the plan for England is that they hope to retain Gareth Southgate through the 2026 World Cup, but then after that, depending on their performance, he may just be out the door. Now, do I think it would be a huge mistake to let go of Southgate? Absolutely, right? I mean, he's learned from his mistakes. Of course, I don't believe the team has ever done poorly in a major tournament since Southgate has become the manager. Now, the thing that Gareth Southgate has switched up going into the 2024 Euros is the roster. Instead of going for big names, he's gone for players that have performed well. He has this tendency, Gareth Southgate does, of selecting players who are known to be good, but not play very well in their club matches that season. Well, this time it's not the case because big names that have been struggling, like a Jack Grealish or a Marcus Rashford or even a Jordan Henderson, have been left off the team. And then, of course, you've got an injured Harry Maguire, who's also not on this squad. Now, I would say that a bunch of the old guard of this English national team have been, slowly pushed out the door. Only really maybe Jordan Pickford, Harry Kane, Kyle Walker, Trippier. Those guys are like the last of the older men to be left on this national team. Most of these star players are in their mid to early 20s, and I do think they will be the reason that England will be able to win the Euros in 2024, right? I feel like the contribution from the youth is very much needed on this team. Now, let's take a look at some of the more important players on this English squad. First, we've got the goalkeeper, Jordan Pickford. Sure, is he stuck on one of the more shit clubs in all of the Premier League? Yeah, okay, he is stuck on Everton, but he isn't the reason that Everton is so shit. Quite the opposite, in fact. Jordan Pickford is one of the best goalkeepers in all of the Premier League. He's got some of the highest goals prevented, up there in save percentage. The stats prove that Pickford is great, okay? You take a look, he started in 38 games for Everton, allowed, 48 goals, had 121 saves, and 14 clean sheets. When you've got a keeper like Pickford, it's kind of confusing how you're such a bad squad. But of course, it's Everton, so what can you expect? Like I said, he is one of the best keepers that England could have asked for, right? And then we've got the defense, right? You've got Kyle Walker, and John Stones. Hell, half of Man City's line is making up this defense. And then you've got Mark Gay and Kieran, like I mentioned earlier. This is a pretty solid defense. Of course, the English national team has seen better, but they should be good enough to get the job done, right? Most of the English talent doesn't come from their midfield or defense. It is their strikers, it is their forwards who are going to get the job done for England in this tournament. I mean, it really just comes down to formation and how Gareth Southgate chooses to use Jude Bellingham. Of course, if he's in that midfield, then it's going to be looking fantastic. And the other guys are no slouches. You got Declan Rice, who had a pretty good season over there at Arsenal. You know, first position, he was able to get 7 goals, 8 assists. Then Trent Alexander-Arnold on that Liverpool squad. I mean, his vision and passing prowess can be a game changer against group stage rivals expected to sit deep. So those midfielders, pretty good, right? And then, of course, you know, Jude Bellingham, look, I was mentioning earlier. He's on Real Madrid. He was one of the major contributors to Real Madrid winning La Liga and the Champions League, okay? I mean, Jude Bellingham had a pretty good season in his first year at Real Madrid. He ended up getting 19 goals in 27 games and 7 assists on 61 shots. Talk about efficiency. He was able to, you know, stat pad, really run up those numbers because there are a lot, and I do mean a lot of talented players, talented goal scorers on that Real Madrid team. But that doesn't take away from the fact that Jude Bellingham is a talent out of this world. And that leaves us with the men playing at the top of the field for the English squad. Okay, you've heard their name for years. They are star players, and they are finally nearing their prime. You got Saka, 22 years old, Arsenal, had 16 goals for the team in last season, had 8 assists in 35 starts, I want to say. And then, of course, you go over to Man City, where Phil Foden is. You got a lot of talent over there in Man City, and yet Phil Foden still manages to shine. He got 19 goals for Man City, 8 assists on 98 shots, right? And then, it doesn't end there, because another guy to add to this roster was Cole Palmer over there at Chelsea. Is Chelsea any good? No, they're rubbish. Let's be real. But he had 22 goals, 11 assists in 29 starts. He had been coming in and out of the games for quite a while. He hadn't started a few of them, but you know what? Cole Palmer made the squad for England. Will he start for England? Well, there's a huge question mark there. Last but not least, you've got the leader of men, captain of this squad, the great Harry Kane. Sure, has he been pushed out to the Bundesliga, now playing for Bayern Munich? Maybe. But he's been doing great over there in Germany. He's gone out and scored 36 goals in 32 games. You heard me right. 36 goals, 8 assists, because who the hell is he going to pass it to? This man, may he be stat padding, all right, who cares? It's Harry fucking Kane. He is a legend and continues to be a legend. He's having a great season and nobody's talking about it. Honestly, the English team's performance comes down to how Harry Kane does. It rests on his shoulders, as it has been for the past 5 or 6 years. Harry Kane is going to determine how far this English squad goes, if we're being honest, okay? Now, the only team that I see standing in the way of England in the 2024 Euros is France. However, the positive is that the soonest that the English team can play France is the finals. So they don't have to worry about them like they had to in the 2022 World Cup, where they took them out in the quarterfinals, okay? They get to dodge France until the finals if France makes it that far. But anyway, that's about it for this video. Really just wanted to cover England and soccer. Have a hard time doing so because of copyright, but we'll get this video out, I promise. Catch y'all later. Much love. Deuces.